My name is Dr. William Harris. I'm a medical doctor, and for more than 4 decades, I have treated patients in their later years of life. Today, I am not speaking to you as a scientist or a lecturer. I am speaking to you as someone who has watched aging closely, honestly, and repeatedly. Because once you reach 70, there are 5 things that almost always happen, whether you are ready for them or not. As people grow older, loneliness quietly shifts from being an emotional experience to becoming a genuine medical concern. I have seen patients whose test results look acceptable, whose medications are correct, yet their health continues to decline because they are living in isolation. After 70, social circles naturally shrink. Friends pass away, mobility decreases, and families become busy with their own responsibilities. What begins as occasional silence slowly turns into long days without meaningful conversation, and the body responds to that silence in powerful ways. Loneliness increases stress hormones in the body, raising blood pressure and weakening the immune system. When a person feels socially disconnected, the brain remains in a state of low-level alert, as if something is missing or wrong. Over time, this constant stress contributes to heart disease, sleep disorders, depression, and memory problems. I have treated elderly patients whose physical symptoms improved simply because they began speaking regularly with someone who listened. The human body is not designed to age alone. Conversation, touch, and shared routines stimulate the brain and help maintain emotional balance. Without these, cognitive decline can accelerate. People become forgetful not only because of age, but because there is less mental stimulation in their daily lives. Appetite decreases, motivation fades, and personal care slowly declines, not out of neglect, but because there is no one to notice the change. Many older adults feel embarrassed to admit they are lonely. They fear being a burden or appearing weak. This silence is dangerous. Avoiding social contact does not protect independence. It erodes it. Loneliness often leads to reduced movement, poorer nutrition, and irregular medication use, all of which increase the risk of serious illness. Regular human connection can be as powerful as medicine. A daily phone call, a shared meal, or a simple routine with another person can stabilize mood, improve sleep, and strengthen overall health. Social interaction gives the body signals of safety and belonging, which are essential for maintaining physical and mental resilience in later years. As people move deeper into old age, independence does not disappear suddenly, but it begins to change in subtle and often uncomfortable ways. Tasks that once required no thought start to demand more effort and concentration. Driving at night feels stressful, remembering appointments becomes difficult, and physical strength no longer matches intention. Many older adults are surprised by how quickly these changes appear, because mentally they still feel capable, experienced, and fully aware of who they are. The greatest challenge is not the physical adjustment, but the emotional one. Independence is closely tied to identity. For decades, people have defined themselves by their ability to provide, decide, and manage life on their own terms. When that ability weakens, even slightly, it can feel like a loss of dignity rather than a normal stage of life. I often see patients resisting help not because they do not need it, but because accepting it feels like surrender. This resistance can create serious risks. Refusing assistance with daily tasks increases the chance of falls, missed medications, and untreated health issues. A person may avoid asking for help with transportation and end up skipping medical appointments. They may struggle silently with household tasks until exhaustion or injury occurs. What is meant to protect independence often undermines it. True independence in later life is not about doing everything alone. It is about making wise decisions that preserve safety, health, and quality of life. Accepting help with certain tasks allows energy to be saved for what truly matters. Support does not erase autonomy, it reshapes it. Those who adapt early tend to remain more active, confident, and engaged than those who fight every change. Families and caregivers also play a role in this transition. Respectful support, rather than control, helps older adults maintain a sense of purpose. Independence becomes less about physical ability and more about choice, communication, and self-respect, evolving into a shared balance between capability and care. As people enter their later years, physical pain often becomes familiar, expected, and in many cases manageable. What surprises many is how emotional pain, particularly regret, begins to speak more loudly than aching joints or weakened muscles. In quiet moments, when distractions fade and days slow down, unresolved memories surface with a clarity that can be overwhelming. Regret does not arrive suddenly. It grows stronger in silence, replaying moments that once seemed unimportant but now feel defining. I have sat beside countless elderly patients who spoke less about illness and more about missed opportunities. They talk about words they never said, apologies they delayed, and relationships they assumed would always be there. The pain of these regrets is not sharp, but heavy, settling deep in the chest and staying there. Unlike physical discomfort, it cannot be eased with medication or rest. It lingers, especially at night, when the mind has nothing left to distract it. Many people realize too late that success and responsibility consumed more space than connection. Careers were built, sacrifices were made, but emotional presence was postponed. Time, once taken for granted, now feels painfully limited. Regret thrives on this awareness, reminding people that certain moments will never return. Children have grown, parents have passed away, and chances for reconciliation feel uncertain or impossible. What makes regret especially powerful in old age is the lack of future opportunities to compensate for the past. Younger people believe mistakes can be corrected later. Older individuals understand that later has boundaries. This awareness intensifies every unresolved emotion, making small memories feel immense. A single argument left unsettled can outweigh years of achievement. Regret also affects physical health. It contributes to depression, sleep disturbances, and loss of appetite. Emotional distress weakens the body, increasing vulnerability to illness. The mind and body are deeply connected, and unresolved emotional pain can accelerate physical decline. Those who find peace in old age are often not the healthiest, but those who made peace with their past, who forgave others and themselves, and who accepted that perfection was never the goal, only connection and understanding. As people grow older, time begins to feel less like something to be spent and more like something to be protected. Days no longer stretch endlessly ahead. Instead, weeks pass quickly, seasons blur together, and years seem to compress into brief memories. What once felt abundant now feels limited, and this shift changes how people think, feel, and choose. Time stops being measured by ambition and starts being measured by energy, health, and peace. In younger years, time is often treated casually. Plans are postponed, relationships are delayed, and rest is sacrificed with the belief that there will always be another chance. In later life, this illusion fades. Every day carries weight. People become more aware of how much effort certain activities require and how precious a calm, pain-free morning can be. A single good day feels valuable, not ordinary. This change also alters priorities. Arguments that once felt important lose their power. The desire to prove oneself weakens, while the desire for comfort and emotional safety grows stronger. Older adults often become more selective, not because they care less, but because they understand the cost of stress. Loud environments feel exhausting, unnecessary conflict feels draining, and shallow conversations feel like wasted energy. Time in old age is also deeply connected to memory. Moments from decades ago feel vivid, while events from last week may feel distant. This blending of past and present can make life feel both rich and fragile. People revisit old experiences, not out of nostalgia alone, but because memory becomes a way of measuring life. What remains clear are not achievements or possessions, but shared moments, kindness received, and love given. With this awareness comes a quiet urgency. Not panic, but clarity. People begin to value simple routines, meaningful conversations, and moments of peace. Waiting loses its appeal. Forgiveness becomes easier. Gratitude becomes more natural. Time is no longer something to chase or fill, but something to respect, to move through gently, and to spend only on what truly nourishes the body, mind, and spirit. Aging is not an enemy, but ignoring reality makes aging dangerous. If you are approaching 70, prepare with wisdom. If you are younger, take this seriously. One day, these will not be lessons. They will be your life. Take care of your body, take care of your relationships, and above all, respect time. Thank you for listening.